Since we were young, we asked him to teach us. And he said, only the one is supposed to know. And he watched me, same way you saw me, a white man. I got invited out of the blues to a Hindu prayers. So when I went to the Hindu prayers, there's about 400 people there. It was a big one. And so I didn't know nobody. So I stood on the side of the tent, just witnessing and trying to understand what is going on. And when I went to the prayers, I looked across, and way across was a little old man. And the little old man peeked his head up. And he looked and he smiled. Here he come through the crowd. And I'm watching him and I'm saying, this little old man coming towards me. And he come up and Omkar, it kind of blew my mind. He said, I finally found you. I said, who? And he said, we've been together many lifetimes. I have to talk to you. I have to sit down and let you know that I need to teach you everything I know before I die.
So that's the first time?
First time.
That's the first thing he tells?
Yes.
Conversation, right?
Right off the bat.
Okay.
So the first thing, Omkar,
right.
I'm thinking he's a little cuckoo.
I would think that too. Yeah.
You understand? Because he's coming up. I don't mean to disrespect him. But
trying to hustle you or something.
Correct, something.
White man, you know.
You know, so I said, okay, I'll come over in about 15 minutes and I'll talk with you.
Right.
So after he went back, about, I don't know, 5 minutes later, I saw a little minivan come up and it had 5 pundits. Now the 5 pundits, when they got out, they went straight to him and bowed to his feet. So I'm thinking, he has to be somebody. And they weren't officiating in the puja. So they were there just to witness. And then 2 swamis came up. One was from here and one was from Canada. And when they came and bowed to his feet. So then when the swami came back kind of towards me, I walked up to him. I said, Sitaram Swami, who's that little old man? And they said, we call him Pa. Why? And so I told him what happened. And he said, no. I said, what do you mean? And they said, since we were young, we asked him to teach us. And he said, only the one is supposed to know. And he watched me, same way you saw me, a white man.
Yeah.
Why'd he pick a white man? You know, and so I went and talked with him. And he was very sincere in letting me know that he cannot leave this earth without passing the knowledge to someone. And it had to be someone that he knew. Well, that kind of confused me because I'm not from here. Yeah. He don't know me. But this is where, at that time, lack of spiritual knowledge came in. He was talking way above me at that level. And so I did take up the offer. And go ahead.
So immediately, or you had to think about it? Because
it was about 5 days.
Okay. So
about 5 days. I didn't give him an answer right then.
Okay.
No. And after 5 days, I got a hold of him. And I said, Paul, I want to do it. And I said, would you be my guru? And he said, yes. So starting then, for 10 years, 5 nights a week, I went and studied under him. And I could say it was the most enlightening thing I could ever experience in life. He taught me so much. But what I loved about him, he was simple. He was humble. And that's when I knew he was true. When you see somebody out trying to be flamboyant, it's not for God. It's for the people. And he taught me always try to be humble. Always look and listen. He said, people's problem today, people talk too much.
And that was
way back.
Decades ago.
So think how they are now. And so I asked him, what do you mean? He said, when people come to you with a problem, listen. Listen closely. And then just don't listen to what they say. Listen to what's not being said. And you'll start seeing the truth. And then, you know, as you start learning as a person and you're starting on this journey with this guru, you get excited. And the first thing I was excited about, I thought, what mantras am I going to learn? You know, what is he going to teach me? And I wanted mantras. Do you know for the first year, no mantras?
Okay.
He would take me in the bush, make me sit down in nature, and he taught me how to meditate the ancient way in nature. And he says you cannot connect with God until you can connect with nature. Understand when you meditate that everything in this world has a purpose. It has a function. And so for that whole year, he had me do this until he thought I was close enough of mastering that part. And then we started going into theory, deep philosophy. And when he was doing this and he was teaching me the deep philosophy of Hinduism, he also took me within Muslim, Christian, Sumerian. And when we started, so when we learned this part here, we compare. So we have the knowledge of what each one knows about that topic. And this kept going on. And then he said, are you ready? I said, ready for what? He goes, the next step. I said, what's the next step? He said, I know you're married, but you should. He says, I cannot tell you to do it. No guru can tell their student what to do. You have to have your own free will of choice. It is beneficial that you do a strict 6-year penance. So I said, what does that entail?
Okay, that's not it. So up until this point, because this is the change here, right? So I don't want to backtrack with this question.
Okay.
So that's why I said I'm going to interject it now. Did you know what you were training for? Did he explain anything, or you were just going along with whatever he was teaching you? Like
He explained at the beginning. Remember, the Swami told me
right.
that that's gold.
Right.
Knowledge is spiritual wealth.
Right.
Okay? And knowledge is what's going to put you on the path that you need to start to walk and start your own journey. Even though you have a guru, your student will have his own path. And a guru is only to guide.
Right.
The student has to do the work. And the guru has to monitor the work So I was learning that. Then he said to strict your fast. So Omkar, that's a big decision, especially when you're married at the time. You can't touch your wife. You can't sleep with your wife. No alcohol, no cigarettes, no self-pleasure, no porn. You have to isolate yourself, detach. The most important thing in spirituality, he taught me, you have to detach from everyone and everything. You can be with someone, you could love them, you could take care of them, support them, but you cannot be attached to them.